Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. Tonight I want to talk about the oaken ring and a debuff on Elder Scrolls Online. Now this video is coming like a while after it has been debuffed, so it's more addressing what Elder Scrolls should have done instead of debuffing the ring to help players out. Now this is just my own opinion, and I've talked with some guys and girls in PvP and PvE about this, and they actually seem to agree with me for the most part anyway. So I'm going to like, if I were in charge making these decisions, what I would have done. So for PvE I would have left the ring alone, not touched it at all. It would have helped those players to get all the equipment they need. I mean, I'm doing cloud rest now, but if I look in my book, I don't really have any perfected gear because nobody runs veteran dungeons. So there's like a power balance in Elder Scrolls that stops you getting it. Like there'll be people doing veteran trials, and they'll only invite the people in their close circle who they know has got high damage and whatnot. So that gives other players no chance of getting it because we're not getting invited to these veteran trials. I've played the game since 6 months after its release. I only left it 6 months after because I knew there'd be issues, and there were. There's still issues, to be honest. But if they'd have left oaken alone for PvE only, the game would have been much more manageable for a hell of a lot of players and more enjoyable. I know at least 20 to 30 people now who deleted the game and will not return to this game because oaken got nerfed so much. Now, a lot of these people have spent hundreds, if not over £1,000 each on the game with just furnishings or ESL Plus or crown crates or whatever, and all of them are adamant they will never return to this game because they bring out a DLC like Open Soul where it's a game changer, people feel like they're actually accomplishing something, and then a month later or 2 months later when the new DLC comes out, debuff. And it's kind of a pay to win system as well, because if you go against someone with oaken and you don't have oaken when it was at its max, you're gonna die. It's that simple. You had the advantage for that couple months, so it's kind of a pay to win system, and it's kind of the same when any new mythic or item comes out. If you've got to buy the area, so that's just my opinion on that. For PvP, I would have introduced a new set. So as you notice, I'm in Cloud Rest, and there's a set here, or a skill or something, where you become overcharged and you get this massive blue circle around you. And I think that would have been a perfect set to introduce into PvP to fight off the oaken players. So the people with oaken will have to back off and heal themselves through it, and they won't be able to do enough damage against you, because normally if you get that blue light thing you just switch bars, but oaken can't do that. So I personally think that would have been the better outcome, just switch bars, and yeah, or not being able to switch bars, should I say. I would also like to say the trials as well, how they should fix trials is to help people get all this veteran gear that we're not getting. As you see, look, I've got no perfected gear. I have maybe 1 or 2 pieces, if that. But I don't really have it, and a lot of people are exact same. A lot of people think it's not worth the hassle to run veteran trials as well, because of the damage situation. Like, oh, you've got to explain the mechanics, or damage is not going to be high enough, so we can't do it. And I think if everybody had the oaken soul ring at its highest capabilities, veteran dungeons would still be tough, but not as tough. Yeah. And my last point is, we need a trial finder. So as you go into your activity finder, you get all these: your dungeon finder, your battleground finder, and you can even queue for PvP. We need one for trials, because if guilds do trials, chances are, if there's not an event on, they're going to be doing one trial a week, maybe two, and that just means 12 people in a week can do that trial. Sure, more people can do it, but most of the time it's going to be 1 or 2 tanks in those guilds who have the actual capability of doing the trials. So a trial finder would be very good. Now there should be requirements, of course. Maybe like you've got to have done that trial on normal several times, or maybe let's say 10 times. You've got to do it 10 times before you can do a veteran one. I think that's perfectly acceptable. That gives people enough time to figure out the mechanics, figure out the damage, and teamwork, and maybe even get some groups together where you can communicate properly. But oaken soul, it's an absolute shame what they've done to it. I mean, it's still alright. I'm using it right now. I'm actually on a PvP build. It's still good, but we could have just added 1 or 2. It got took too far the other way. I mean, it was so good, it just got took too far the other way. There needed to be a middle ground, and they've absolutely destroyed this ring. Yeah, so that's my opinion. I think they should introduce a set where you get the blue AoE on you, and you've got to swap bars. And if you're using the oaken soul ring, you can't really do it. You've got to go stand out away, or you're going to get all your friends killed for PvP, and you've got to heal through it. I think it'd have been brilliant, but also that should have come with a timer, like 20 to 30 seconds, and it'd be very interesting. Now, there is a vast variety of sets to choose from in this game, but why oaken soul was so important is because, say you're a sorcerer. No, not a sorcerer. A Nightblade, for instance. Your shadowy cloak thing where you go invisible, yeah, you activate it, you go invisible. But if it's on your back bar, you activate it, swap bars, do whatever you're doing. You get 3 seconds to do it. But the bar swap does not always work. There is an extreme delay. You can mash your left button to switch bars, and it will not do it sometimes. Sometimes it's like 4 or 5 times, which means your ability that you're buffing has run out. Even more with this Sigic, because that's not exclusive to one race or class. Everybody can use Sigic, but some of the abilities are 3 seconds long. So this is why oaken soul was so good, because people did not want to deal with that that 2-bar swap. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of my my solution, and I'll catch you next time. Laters.